So maybe,
Okay, so
you know what, sorry, Josie, maybe I'll just do a quick intro here of myself. My name is Jessica Rorson, and I'm working with IBDS and Sage Hill to put on these webinars for entrepreneurs. And we have Sherilyn Walters here as well. Sherilyn, did you want to just...
Yeah, I'm the consultant for Indigenous Business Development Services. And so I work with the Indigenous businesses throughout the province to help them get off the ground or do the different things that they need to do.
Awesome. Thank you. And Josie, you go right ahead and introduce yourself. That would be wonderful.
Sure. My name is Josie LaChance, and I'm here, like I said, for the third webinar. So thanks again for having me back. I have quite a bit of experience with social media. I do a lot of different sort of businesses or organizations, social media for them. And so I'm happy to be here and hopefully give you guys some tips today on your Facebook pages. Maybe I'll just get you guys to introduce yourself and your business and kind of what you're looking to get out of today's session, just so I know what direction to go and make sure everybody gets something out of this workshop today. Alyssa, do you want to go first?
Sure. Okay. My name is Alyssa Ashford. I'm the manager at the Broadview Helping Hands Personal Care Home. We are trying to expand our advertising and see if we can reach people in our community. Facebook seems to be a great way to do that. We have started Facebook group for our company, and a lot of our families and people in the community follow us, and they keep tabs on all the activities all the residents are doing, and it seems to be really helpful in that way, and it brings a lot of people in. And we would just like to further expand our knowledge on how to properly advertise and reach people for the business.
Great, that sounds great. I like that you have a group set up where everybody can kind of connect. So is this like a private group that you have where you have to be sort of involved with the Broadview Helping Hands? Like have
no,
a family member there?
It's public, so you can just look up Broadview Helping Hands and it will come up as a thing, and it's set up so that you can set up appointments with myself or the other managers so that you can come take tours of the facility. You can kind of get a little bit of background on what our facility offers and things like that.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much, Alyssa. Bernadette, you're the next one on my screen there.
Hi, I'm Bernadette McCollum. I'm the owner and operator of Morningstar Counseling Services, and I'm located on Daystar First Nation, and I have an office in Regina, where I'm just starting to just see in-person people right now, just starting, and yeah, so that's me.
And do you have a Facebook page already for your business?
Yeah, I do have a Facebook page for my business, but I'm not very active on it at all because I don't think I know how to run it too good. So yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I can definitely help you with that. Kale.
I just started a CNC metal art company. So I like draw art on the computer and cut it out in like steel. And so I make fire pits and yard signs and stuff like that. And I've got a fairly active Facebook page. I don't post a whole lot, but most of my traffic comes through there. Like most of my customers kind of contact me through the page and through Messenger. And like it's been pretty helpful the way I've used it.
Yeah, so mostly people are coming to your page to contact you, but you're saying that you don't post regularly maybe. Yeah,
like I have quite a few posts of things I've done, but it's definitely not like weekly or like even monthly at most times. Like so. Right. So is that kind of what you're hoping to get into a little bit? Yeah, like I guess what would be like effective ways or like strategies of driving more traffic? Because I don't know, like it's not like I really need to go viral or anything with these things, but just to have a better presence. So when someone goes to my Facebook page, they kind of see what my business is all about and they can get a pretty good idea of everything is. That sounds great. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much.
at any time that I'm just kind of going through today, just feel free to stop and ask questions. I'm basically going to go on through my own personal Facebook page and then onto my personal business page and kind of show you what I do for our business. I also do this for a few other organizations as well, and it seems to work fairly well. I think that it's important to remember that you don't have to feel like you don't want to overwhelm yourself. It's so easy to get overwhelmed with social media and to feel like you always have to be posting and always interacting. And that's just really exhausting to even think about sometimes. So today we'll just kind of go through like posts on the timeline and what I have found to be effective and works to kind of get, I guess you could say, to get people to like your page, but also more than that, I think it's important to interact with the people who are on your page. You can have, thousands and thousands of likes on your page, but if they're not interacting with you, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna share my screen here. All right, so I think everybody can see my screen now.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just gonna go over here. I know there is Bernadette who is kind of looking to start her Facebook page a little bit more. She has it, but she's not active. So just kind of go through the steps on your personal page. Over here on the left, there's the Pages tab. And in there, that's where your business page is housed. So you can go there and you can kind of see all the ones that I'm working on right now. But I'm going to go to my personal business page just so I can show you, kind of what I do. The thing about Facebook, I'm just going to try to go over some of like the basic things right now. The thing is that it's always changing. They're kind of launching into like the Meta business suites and really trying to push that. And it's very, can be very overwhelming. So it's important to like take the time to go through that if you're wanting to get, sort of like more out of your Facebook. So, simple things like the proper times to post or who's looking at your post, like the age demographic. Those are things that you can kind of get into with the business suite, but I'm not going to go over that too much today because it can be a little bit complicated, but it's very easy to sort of here on the left-hand side, you'll see Meta Business Suite and then, kind of publishing tools and stuff like that. And that's where you'll go. So today, the first thing is to always make sure that your information is as up to date as you can. So just making sure you have everything in here. If you have business hours, if you have a website, your phone number, all of those things, trying to make sure it's always up to date. Here, if I switched it to a different view here, you can see how our page, this page here has the call now button. So if you're looking to get calls from Facebook, you can set up specific buttons. So we have the call now button set up, but you can set up a button that says, like message us. I think Alyssa was saying that she had some of that set up. And that's a really effective way to get customers, especially for us. We'll get a notification saying that someone called us directly from our Facebook page. So that's kind of nice to know. I'll just flip back here. So on the left-hand side here under publishing tools, that's where you go to make all your posts and to schedule your posts. I think a really important thing to do as a business owner is to utilize scheduling your posts. This way it kind of condenses your work a little bit. So at the beginning of the week or the month, you could set up, 4 posts for the month if you wanted. So you could do 1 post each week, or 2 posts each week, but you could do that and schedule them all so it's ready to go and you don't have to kind of really think about it. Here you'll see all of my published posts that we have, and then I can go into my scheduled posts and see if I have any scheduled posts. This is where they'll show up. So you'll see that I have one scheduled for later this week. So that's kind of where you can see that. You can also schedule some stories if you guys are familiar with stories. Basically, it's just little video snippets or picture snippets that stay up on your Facebook page for 24 hours. So that's kind of a fun way to be interactive as well. I'm going to go back one here to the home page. It starts getting a little bit complicated once you go in there. So if you want to keep it a little bit more simple, you can create your post right from your main page here where it says create post. And if you're wanting to create a scheduled post, then you can get to it this way as well, where it says schedule your post from Planner and Meta Business Suite. So that's kind of the gist of kind of just creating your own post. I know a lot of you already kind of do that. Things that I think are very efficient are, or a good way to sort of drive traffic either like to your site or just, you know, be more interactive is to sort of ask questions. So here, you know, I did a video of my husband replacing parts on the machine. So he just videoed himself doing this and I put it together, and it really created a lot of comments and things like that. Same with this post here. We asked a question. We asked what people are doing to keep active in the winter. And so you'll see we have people commenting here. So it's just a good way to interact with your customers. And then also, the more people comment on your posts, the more likely it is that it's going to show up for someone else. It kind of keeps your post active on Facebook. Whereas if you don't get any likes or any comments, sometimes it just kind of goes down into the no man's land and not very many people see it. So I think it's important to kind of establish, are you wanting people to buy something? So are you giving them, you know, like the right information, or are you just wanting to kind of connect with people, wonder, you know, how they found your page or what they're up to? I always find that's kind of an easy one. So this worked out really well. We got lots of people commenting on that, lots of conversations going. Do we have any questions so far? Or am I going too fast, or good to go?
Good to go.
So Alyssa, Bernadette, or Kale, do you guys schedule any of your posts right now that you would do when you are posting?
For me, at this moment, I don't do any scheduled posts, but I do know how to use it. I've done it in previous jobs as well, like when I advertise for things in the past, but I just don't know if with the industry that I work in, how to effectively do that, I guess, because it's more just engaging families and people with our facility and showing them what our residents are up to. So I guess that's where I am having a little bit of problems.
Right, that's totally understandable. I think it's always, you know, something that you could have sort of like a content folder, and maybe you do this already, but where you have pictures of your residents doing something, whether it's, you know, playing board games or something like that. And then you could post it and sort of ask, you know, do the sort of like question thing if you're wanting to be interactive with your followers, you know, asking them what their favorite board games are, or, you know, if they come there to visit their families, what they like to do, things like that. I think, especially with that, it's hard to like not, even for us with some of the content that we do, I'll post content that's from like a couple of days ago, which might show that it's snowing, but it's not snowing now. So I understand what you're saying. It's kind of hard to create scheduled content when you want it to be like what's actually happening now. So I think there's times when you can kind of post immediately, but then there's posts that you can just have that are scheduled. It just makes it a little bit easier, in my opinion, because then you don't have to worry about it. If you know every Thursday you have a scheduled post, well, that's kind of keeping your Facebook page active. People are seeing it. And I think that's a really important thing. You don't want people to go to your page and not see any activities for, a couple months. Sometimes that makes them think, well, are you still in business? Are you operating? Or a lot of people also use Facebook as like their prime, like their website. We don't have another website. I'm not sure, Kale or Bernadette, if you have like a website where people can book or purchase things.
Facebook for me is like my primary like place to find me online. I haven't set up a website or anything.
Yeah. It's a lot of money and it's time consuming to do it if you don't necessarily need to. And I think that's why it's really important to have like an updated Facebook page so that people know, you're still operating and kind of showing what they can get. Even if you ever, I don't know if you get people who send in client like or customer photos. So you said you do fire pits. Is that one of the things that you said?
Yeah, like fire pits and yard signs and just like indoor art decor kind of things.
Yeah, so you could always get people to, and maybe it's something that you include with your, like when you sell your product, to like tag you on Facebook, and then you can share the post so people can see how your product's being used. And I think another important thing is to always show like faces on Facebook. I think it's more interactive. People know, who you are, or that people are using your product. It's always good to see those sorts of things.
What about things like testimonials for Kale? Like
yeah, definitely. She said, Charlene said testimonials, like getting people who have purchased your product to kind of email you and say, or maybe you touch base with them, asking them how your product's doing, and then you can use that as a marketing tool on your Facebook.
Yeah, like just get them to make little write-ups and stuff. I think I have a couple, like, because Facebook has a review kind of
yes,
function.
they do.
I don't know how visible that is to other people.
So if you find that your reviews, if that's an active tab, you can see up here where it says like home, about, reviews. What you can do is you can go to this, here, more, and you can edit tabs so that the reviews tab shows up on your main page.
Okay.
But I think if I'm correct, you can share, so we don't have any reviews on our page yet, but you can share a review. So if someone were to write a review, you can go and you can hit share and say, hey, thanks, Jessica, for the great review. Hope you're loving your fire pit. It's a good way to just like keep it minimal and not have to worry about putting a lot of thought into all of these posts that you're creating, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we always think that we need to create like all of this original content, and it just puts so much pressure on us to do that. But it's a lot of work. If you think about trying to come up with 3 original posts per week, that's, you have to go out and take a photo or things like that. So it's so easy to use things that are available already on your page if people are leaving reviews or tagging you in photos. I'm just gonna look here. So yeah, I will go through here. I will create a post and kind of show you a few things that I like to do. I think that using emojis and kind of keeping it simple are a few ways to be interactive. There are sort of places that you can, put a lot of content in your post, but for just like a regular post during the week or something, you could do just something simple. So here is that we had that big snowstorm, and here's the inside view of the Bobcat. Lots of people never get to really see the view from the inside. And if I could post the video, I might post it in the stories just to show you. I'm not sure if you guys actively use stories, but it's just cool to see from your perspective. So your customers are getting to see what it's like to be you inside the Bobcat, versus how they always see watching you when you're going to like clear their driveway or stuff like that. So I think even for Kale, a good thing to do is, you know, when you're creating your pieces, taking a picture of you doing it, or a little video of you doing something creative, and then posting it. It just gives people that, just makes them feel like they're connecting with you and what you're doing, and probably also more likely to maybe buy something seeing you make it yourself with your own two hands. I think that's important too. So Bernadette, I'm just wondering for you, so have you said that you don't really post. Have you made any posts at all, or you've just kind of set up your page?
I actually try to use Canva.
Oh yeah.
For some of my posters. But yeah, nothing really. I would like to get a little bit more deeper into it, but I think I find it intimidating to post. So, and I'm not very comfortable with it yet. So
yeah, and that's a big thing with social media. And I think keeping it simple is always a good place to start. And you know, once your following grows a bit more, you can always kind of change up your style. So even if you were to post something even if it's every week or every 2 weeks, that would be plenty. It could be something as simple as sharing your posters from Canva on your Facebook. Lots of people do that. There's an organization I work for. We create a lot of our content in social media and share it directly, or in Canva and share it directly on Facebook. But for this post here that I'm doing, I'm just going to keep it really simple and say, you know, something like the view from, you know, what the view looks like from the inside. Keep it simple, and probably maybe going to add a snowflake emoji. And I'm just going to post it. And that's going to be that. And people will hopefully find it cool. But I think just keeping it very simple is a really good place to start. If that makes sense. I hope that makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. You can see some of my last posts here, you know, just us doing little things. It could even be a picture of you. I don't know if you have an office space, Bernadette, or because you said you're just starting to see clients in person again. So maybe it could be, you know, like you before you're getting ready for the day, just a quick picture, or and look at it, already has a like from Jessica. But you know, you could do something very simple like that. That's also very personable. That's not too hard.
Bernadette, you know, even things like when you host the powwow, pictures of that, just because all those kinds of things, it's just about getting people comfortable and you comfortable. So I mean, I've seen that a lot. Pictures from your
things
own
that things that you're doing. I know, especially when you own your own business, it's so easy to just think that people don't want to see us or know about us or what we're doing. And oftentimes, you know, when my husband and I go out for lunch and we take a picture and we say, hey, we're out for lunch together, and that will get the most likes of it all, or the most interactions. And it's just people like to see you and what you're doing and feel comfortable with you, and maybe booking you for a service or purchasing an item from you, knowing that you know, they like what they see, I guess, a little bit. So hopefully, you know, hopefully that makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. I know it is hard, a little bit scary because there's so much with Facebook, but I think if you just kind of keep it simple with creating a post, and, you know, if someone comments on it, just saying, hey, back, you know, that always helps. Yeah, so again, how I did that, you can also do the same thing here. Say I want to go and I want to schedule a post now. I'm just going to create or hit schedule a post there from that way, because I find that to be easier. And then you can kind of see like a calendar view of the month. So say, you know, you're going to have a sale or something's happening on the 17th of February. Well, you can post in advance, or you can schedule a post in advance. So then you don't have to worry about it if you're having something up on that day that you want people to know about. So yeah, and you just basically do it the same way you create a post. You can pick the date and the time and write your text in. You can add a photo here. I will just go in here and select photo. And this was just a before picture from a job that we did this summer. We removed all the concrete so I could do a before and after photo here. And I could schedule that.
Can you rename those
and,
photos?
Nobody would see the photo names when you post them. So the renaming the photos would only be for you in your folder where you keep all your photos or your content for your social media. All you can, yeah, so nobody sees that at all. So this is what they would see. And I could just say, you know, a little before and after from a job that we completed this summer. And to be honest, it can be as simple as that for when you're starting out. And people just like to see photos. That's what they're on Facebook for, I think, mostly, and to be interactive with you. So then I just can simply hit schedule this post. And then you'll see now here on Thursday, February 17th, I have this post going out. I hope that makes sense and isn't too complicated. I really like to utilize the scheduling feature because then whenever I have time in an evening, I can just sit down and try to schedule up a couple posts for as long as I have content for, and then I don't have to worry about it. Yeah. So Alyssa, I was just thinking about for you, so you're kind of wanting to like expand your reach to people and also just market differently. Is that what you were kind of saying?
Yeah, so we, you know, rooms pop up available all the time, and not everybody knows we have rooms available unless they are calling the facility and actually inquiring about needing the space. So we're just wanting to start, we want to start advertising the rooms individually that we have available for, you know, potential seniors who are looking for assisted living or who are needing, you know, full care assistance. And, you know, so we want to, you know, I guess, try to advertise that way to see if that brings in more people. And then we can also expand that to, you know, our other facilities that we have without Helping Hands.
Right. Okay. So do you ever boost posts at all, or is that something that you're interested in doing, like paying for your post to basically be reached by a specific audience?
So we don't currently use that feature, but we're willing to start using it and learn more about it.
Okay, because that's something that I think would probably be very helpful for you, because here, if I go to this post that I did the other day, and if I hit boost post, you can select basically your budget, what you kind of want from the post. So I really recommend using this, especially if you're trying to kind of get the room full and get that out there to people. You can basically switch up what you want. So if you want people to call or to just message you about this ad that you have out, so it's for an open room, you can basically select your audience. So you can go in here and you can select your age. So if you want it to be, you know, maybe from 40, you know, to or whatever that is, and then you can select your area here. So you could type Saskatoon specifically. You could type in, you know, Regina, Prince Albert, all of those things, and it'll create. There's so many things you can do with this. So I definitely would just recommend checking that out, because I've used the Boost Post feature quite often, especially for selling tickets or things like that. And I really find that it is a good bang for your buck. So if I were to go down here, and this is for anybody, like Kale, if you had a good post that you had done and you want to sell, you know, more fire pits or whatever item that it is, this is a good way to reach more people and for very minimal dollars. So you can say how many days you want it to go for. Maybe I only want it to go for 5 days, and maybe I only want to spend $20. So this shows me here, as you adjust the slider, how many people it can reach. So here, where's that? Yeah. So say I want to spend $35 and it'll reach about 2,000 people. I can always adjust, you know, more. Like again here, I didn't adjust any of this, but you can really target people for their interests that they have listed on their Facebook page, and kind of adjust that. And then basically you just insert your credit card number and hit Boost Post. The only thing is that you have to boost a post that you already have on your Facebook page. You can't create a post within this. So you would want to create the post saying, hey, we have a room available, or hey, we have this service available. And then once it's posted on your Facebook page, you can boost it that way.
Josie,
Yeah,
what's the difference between ad management, and boosting?
Ad management. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, it's very similar. I just heard about it this morning, and it's very similar to boosting, except that you really can define your customer very clearly. Your region, it looks very similar to boosting.
It's a campaign manager. So it's, you know, the campaign component, Josie, versus boosting.
Oh, I see. Okay. I think this is a really good and easy way to start. It's very easy to do this and very not complicated at all, because like I said, you already, yes, let's leave this. You're doing this off of a post. Whoops. You're doing this off of a post that you already have, right? So that makes it kind of a little bit more simplified. If you really wanted to get into sort of like ad management, more into stuff like that, you really have to be willing to kind of dive into the business suite, I think. And is are you talking about, like, is that a third party one to Facebook, or it's currently in Facebook, right?
It's in, so if you, just like the ad center, you know, if you scroll, if you look down,
Just wanted to make sure we were talking about the same thing. So the difference is, I think this you could create if you just wanted to promote your page and your business a little bit more, then you could definitely go this way. I just think that there's a lot more involved, but also not hard to do if you're willing to kind of spend some time exploring the Meta Business Suite. So here I feel like I went really fast there, but this on the left-hand side here where we had shown the publishing tools, you can just hit that. And then over here, you'll see the little microphone for ads, and you can go into here to create an ad. And then say we just want to promote our page. then basically what it's going to do is just promote your Facebook page. So it's not going to promote like a post that you've made. It's basically just promoting your page if we select promote your page. Definitely also not a hard thing to do. It's kind of the same way as boosting your post. And this would basically show up either on the right-hand side, if you're on a desktop device, or it will show up right in your news feed if you are on your mobile device. So if you're looking to get more likes on your page and your page promoted, that's definitely a way to go. I think you can also, it's hard with some of these because you do have to have a lot of other things in place. So I really think that like promoting your page, I guess if you want to get more people to message you and boosting your posts, those are probably the ways to get the most out of your money right now. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I always forget that you can go through and do more. Lots of people don't actually have a website set up or things like that, but definitely something to look into. It's very effective for such a small amount of money, like, you know, $20 for a week-long ad, and then you can decide if you want to do it again, maybe in a couple months, or you know, when you're wanting to, you know, you have something like Alyssa said, like she has a room available, or, you know, Bernadette just started taking clients, so it might be worth it for her to promote her page just because she's trying to get people in there, things like that. Any other questions so far? We don't have very much time left, and I just want to make sure everybody leaves here with something to use for their Facebook page.
Do you have any?
Oh
Go
yeah,
ahead.
okay, I'll go ahead.
Oh, do you have any experience with like? Is there like a way to pay or like take payment on Facebook? Like, because there's kind of the marketplace, and like just kind of poking around here, it seems like you can send people off to another website, which I don't have. But then, like, do you have any experience with that?
Yeah, so I think so you can buy things directly on Facebook, but I think you need to be set up with maybe Square or something like that, and then link your inventory to your Facebook, or you can, or rather, you can share your inventory from your Square product or your Square app, I guess, to your Facebook. I know on Facebook and Instagram, you can directly purchase things like that, or it'll say, hey, I'm selling this item and it's $40, and I can click it and then it redirects me to their website. But if you use something like Square, you kind of get like a free sort of website with it. So I don't know if you're familiar with Square or what you use for taking payment. But that's something you could always look into.
Okay. Yeah, I've been thinking of
if you're
getting
kind of wanting to,
trade shows.
yeah, if you're wanting to expand your, you know, making it easier for people to purchase your products, that's definitely something you could look into. I would recommend that for sure.
Is there a monthly fee attached to that if they're giving you a landing page?
I think it's a, you know, with Square, I think, well, there's Square and Shopify.
Yeah.
Those are two that I really recommend. Shopify, I really like Shopify, but it doesn't give you the Square would give you all of the information or all of the tools to sort of sell in person as well, where Shopify is mostly just all online. But I've used Shopify and I thought it worked really well. It takes a percentage of your sales, so per each sale, but everything else is free. So you have to kind of weigh the pros and cons there. I don't think you have to pay for anything else other than just the sale. I could be wrong. There might be a startup fee, but I think you can get by without that. And I would totally recommend Shopify. I really liked it. It's a very easy thing to use. And they have sort of like website templates already set up. And so that would be something, Kale, that could be of interest to you that you could look into as well. If you don't necessarily need to have like the in-person setup to sell stuff, Shopify is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bernadette, do you feel like, you know, that this has been a little bit helpful? Maybe you're kind of willing to sort of make a few posts on Facebook for your business page?
Yeah, I'll try to. I actually was liking the planner, so maybe I will attempt the planner. I
Yeah,
think that
it makes it a little bit more manageable, I think, especially if you kind of look at the month and you say, hey, I'm going to schedule 4 posts up. Then you don't have to worry about it so much again. And then once you get more comfortable with it, you can start, you know, responding to people's comments or being more interactive. But you can kind of work on that as you get more comfortable with the platform.
Josie, can I ask you, so obviously there's a difference between your business Facebook page and your personal Facebook page.
Right.
Right. So do you want to just explain the differences to the group?
Yeah, sure. So the business page is usually a public page that anybody can like or see. Your personal page usually is private. You know, they have to request you to be a friend, and then that's how they see your page. This way, you're basically just liking the page, and then you're getting all of their posts and information that way. Does that make sense, Sherilyn?
Yeah, but also like they don't like you. Facebook doesn't like you advertising on a personal page or trying to sell stuff on a personal page. Whereas if you have a business Facebook page, I mean, that's what you have it for. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, I think if you start to try to sell stuff on your personal page, they might just push you to try to get you to start your own business page. Sort of like, I know Instagram does the same thing. They'll say, hey, upgrade to the professional account, you know, your business account or things like that if you're starting to sell things. But the personal is different than the business, just in that anybody can like the business page, but the personal page is private and you have to request access. So, you know, like if I wanted to be Alyssa's friend on Facebook, I'd have to go and find her and request her to be my friend versus I could just go and like Broadview Helping Hands Broadview?
Broadview.
Okay. And then I can just see all their posts that way. Yeah. And Alyssa, I was just hoping that I kind of touched on some things that were helpful for you. Did you have any other questions or things that you specifically kind of wanted answered?
Yeah, you actually helped me a lot with the boost posts and the advertising and promoting the page. So that was very helpful. One question I did write down, it was a topic that was brought up a little while based on reviews that we talked about a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. Do you have any suggestions for positive tactics to help with negative comments or, you know, because that can be very intimidating sometimes, you know, responding to people who don't have a positive outlook on something you posted or something that you've done in the facility that they don't agree with. You know, the pandemic has made it very hard for people in the healthcare industry to post specific things because not everybody is not in agreement to what we do with activities and what's safe and what they think is protocol and etc.
Yeah, I was just thinking I should have taken a screenshot of a few of those examples. That's very hard to navigate because it definitely depends like what the original comment is. I think it's always important to respond to those comments to make it look like you're not, you know, sort of dodging them, but you also don't want to get into like a he said, she said battle on your business Facebook page for everybody to see. Lots of times I always find a good response is, hey, thanks so much for taking time to tell us how you feel, or, you know, something along those lines, and then reach out and say, hey, I'm going to reach out to you via private message. And so then once you respond, you could tap that person's profile, send them a message, and kind of have a conversation there, or say, or not even necessarily have the conversation there, but you could say, hey, thanks for taking the time to reach out. I'm sorry you're feeling this way. Please send in a formal complaint via this email address. Just to, because maybe, you know, like you're working on the social media, but you're not actually in charge of dealing with those complaints. And that's not fair for you to have to deal with that. So I think that's a good way to deal with it.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to
Yeah,
say
you're
one
welcome.
other thing.
I have one question too.
Okay, I just wanted to encourage Alyssa, like if they have empty rooms, like video is huge, right? And to be doing like a tour of like the space that's available, just even seeing in the background here, Josie, when you guys did the Red Chair project, like video is huge. People want to see what's going on, right?
Yes.
Like,
So if you're like here, for example, if you are interested, if you're capable of doing the video, definitely a huge feature to use. People can see everything. They can be more interactive with you. It catches people's attention. Video is huge, especially like, you know, making little like the reels and stuff like that. But a quick little 30-second video of, hey, this is the room. So people can physically see that, sort of virtually see that, I guess I should say. I'm trying to see if there was some other.
Josie, what did you use there to edit your video?
We used Canva here.
Okay, yeah, it looks nice.
And then there's some other apps on your phone that you can download. I'm trying to think what they are off the top of my head. Let me just peek that you can use to edit. So like I've used, where is it here? I just put all of my photo editing apps in one folder, and I shouldn't have done that because now I never know where they are. Video. So there's one called Video Leap. That's something that is good to use because you can add text, you can add music, you can kind of, that's what I used for that one snippet video of my husband doing all the work on the Bobcat. So basically he took all of the footage and then I just clipped it and put it together in Video Leap. So it does take a little bit of time, but once you kind of like get more comfortable with doing those things, it definitely does pay off. So Alyssa, if you're comfortable with using video, that's another really good way to kind of like change up the content on your page, make it a little bit more interesting. Good point, Jessica. Thanks for bringing that up.
Josie, I want to just ask you one more question. I heard it about a year ago, but I didn't get a chance to talk to the facilitator about it. But they were talking about when people like or share your page, you actually capture that person's name for 180 days. You know, they call that a pixel.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're saying, sort of. Like that you would have that person's information so that you could maybe go and get them to like your page or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
It's a way to create a bit of a database.
Oh, I see. I'm not sure how that works, to be honest, with like privacy things, with keeping people's names and how that would work, to be honest.
They only stay there for 180 days.
Okay. I'll have to look into that. You know, I don't actually know. I wouldn't be comfortable speaking to that.
Okay.
You're saying when someone likes your page or shares your post, basically.
Yeah, that you can actually somehow you can go in and you can see that. Maybe it's in Pages. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm gonna write that down and have to look into that.
I think there's something kind of similar, like when someone just likes one of my posts, but they haven't liked my page, There,
Yes.
it shows up with like a button to invite them to like the page.
Right.
So
Mhm.
sometimes,
Yes.
yeah, it looks like that, and that's like,
Yeah, so on your this is a post here that was done, then we can click here and I could say to them, you know, I could message them, I could get them to, I don't know why it's saying, oh, it shouldn't say add friend because I'm just have to switch how I'm on the page here. But here we go. So it shows
yeah,
that she doesn't like the page. I'm going to invite her to like it,
Mhm.
right? There you go. You know,
Now, if you
now
click on Isabel Cook's name.
I wonder if that, let me click on this person's name because I don't have them as a friend.
Okay, so it automatically takes me to this person's Facebook, I'm
Correct.
assuming.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So, yeah.
so if I were to do that, and then I were to click on like, let's say that I was this person, then I click on like to like that. Now I would get notifications every time they posted something. And would they get notifications every time I posted something because I invited them in the last step?
No. So the only way you get, like for you, for example, if you and Jessica became friends on Facebook, then you would see all the things she's posting and she would see all the things you're posting. But with a business page, you can see all of the things that the business is posting, but the business doesn't see anything from your personal profile. The only thing the business page sees is other business pages that they've liked, basically. Does that kind of make sense? They can't see me as a business. I can't see anything that you post unless you and I are personally friends on Facebook. Then I can see.
Okay.
Kind of a little bit complicated, but
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just getting to understand, because you're right, Facebook changes so much that it's hard
does,
to
yes.
kind of stay on top of what's happening.
yeah, awesome. Okay. Any other questions?
No, I think we're good, Josie. This is great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming, and I hope that everybody's taking away something. And I'm gonna have to go like all of your pages on Facebook now so I can see what you guys are all up to.
That sounds